Can I play autopsy with it?
The Addams Family, 1991, captivated audiences with its gothic charm, dark humor, and unforgettable characters. But the film didn't just entertain. It left a lasting impression through the incredible performances of a cast that brought this bizarre family to life with heart and soul. In this video, we look back at the stars of the Addams Family, where they are now, and honor the lives of those we've lost, while also revealing the hidden stories they kept behind closed doors. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments which cast member left the biggest mark on your heart, or which moment from the film still gives you chills. Let's dive in. Gomez Addams, the passionate and eccentric patriarch of the Addams family, was brought to life by Puerto Rican actor Raúl Juliá. Born on March 9, 1940, in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Juliá was 51 years old when he embraced the role in 1991. His fiery energy, expressive eyes, and romantic flair made Gomez unforgettable, a perfect balance of comedy and charisma. This role launched him into the global spotlight, but Julia's path to fame was shaped by quiet resilience and deep conviction.
Have no fear. Justice shall prevail. The courts will decide. They say a man who represents himself as a fool for a...
Raised in a devout Catholic family, his childhood was marked by both structure and compassion. After leaving Puerto Rico for New York, he struggled to find his place, taking on odd jobs before building a respected name on the Broadway stage. He became the first Puerto Rican actor to earn 4 Tony Award nominations, known for his powerful Shakespearean roles and magnetic stage presence. Off-stage, Julia was a man of conscience. His role as Archbishop Oscar Romero reignited his faith and fueled his lifelong advocacy for human rights and the poor in Central America. But privately, he carried his own pain, battling stomach cancer in the final years of his life. Despite his declining health, he completed his last film, Street Fighter, as a gift for his 2 sons. On October 24, 1994, Raúl Juliá died from complications after a stroke at 54 years old. He was laid to rest in Buxeda Cemetery in San Juan, Puerto Rico. His legacy is not just cinematic, it is deeply human. A man of passion, principle, and courage who gave the world performances full of life, even as his own was quietly fading. Grandmama Addams, the quirky potion-brewing elder of the Addams clan, was played by German-born actress and theater pioneer Judith Molina. Born on June 4, 1926, in Kiel, Germany, she was 65 years old when she stepped into the role in The Addams Family, 1991. Though her role was small, her performance was full of warmth, mischief, and a magical spark that made Grandmama unforgettable.
Troubled husbands. Adultery?
Oh, no.
Financial, money.
Molina's life, however, went far beyond Hollywood. A Jewish refugee, she fled Nazi Germany at age 3 with her family, a trauma that shaped her fierce belief in justice and rebellion. In 1947, she co-founded the Living Theater, a radical anti-establishment movement that turned performance into protest. Together with her husband, Julian Beck, Molina used art as a weapon against oppression, war, and conformity. Even when their theaters were shut down by authorities, she never stopped, because to her, silence was never an option. She appeared in powerful films like Dog Day Afternoon and Awakenings, but it was her uncompromising spirit that truly defined her. Open about her unconventional relationships and beliefs, Molina lived boldly and authentically, no matter the cost. On April 10, 2015, Judith Molina passed away in New Jersey at the age of 88 due to lung disease. She was laid to rest at Cedar Park Cemetery in Paramus, New Jersey. Abigail Craven, the manipulative imposter who schemes her way into the Addams family's twisted world, was portrayed by seasoned actress Elizabeth Wilson. Born on April 4, 1921, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, she was 70 years old when she brought a quiet sharpness to the role in The Addams Family, 1991. Though Abigail was a villain, Wilson's performance was calm, calculated, and subtly humorous. A perfect counterbalance to the chaos surrounding her.
Children's play tonight, correct?
Oh, yes. I've been working with them. It's going to be fun.
Fun! Is that what we're here for?
Raised in comfort by a wealthy German-American family, Wilson could have lived a life of ease. But she chose something different, the stage. She trained at the neighborhood playhouse under Sanford Meisner, refining an acting style rooted in discipline and quiet strength. Over a career spanning nearly 6 decades, Wilson appeared in more than 30 films and countless stage productions. She earned a Tony Award in 1972 for Sticks and Bones, and her roles often portrayed strong, no-nonsense women with quiet authority. Despite her success, she lived a life away from the spotlight, never married, no children, and few public appearances. Acting was not her fame, it was her calling. Her final film appearance came in Hyde Park on Hudson, 2012, at age 91, still commanding the screen with grace. On May 9, 2015, Elizabeth Wilson passed away at her home in New Haven, Connecticut, at the age of 94 from natural causes. She was laid to rest at Oak Hill Cemetery, Grand Rapids, Michigan, USA. She left behind no scandal, no headlines, just decades of unforgettable work. A quiet force, a true artist, and a woman who let her performances speak for her. Judge Womack, the stern and perpetually annoyed neighbor of the Addams family, was played by American actor Paul Benedict. Born on September 17, 1938, in Silver City, New Mexico, Benedict was 53 years old when he brought a sharp, ironic edge to the role in The Addams Family, 1991. Though a minor character, his dry wit and exaggerated expressions made every scene he was in just a little more absurd and unforgettable.
Magnificent piece is encrusted with rubies and 15 emerald chips. It was donated by Morticia and Gomez.
Benedict's distinctive look was due to acromegaly, a rare condition that enlarged his bones and facial features. Rather than hiding it, he embraced it, and it became part of what made him so uniquely watchable. He began in Boston theater and shared stages early on with actors like Al Pacino and Dustin Hoffman. Many remember him as the quirky British neighbor Harry Bentley on The Jeffersons, or as the number painter on Sesame Street. His delivery, often calm and refined with a touch of the ridiculous, became his signature. Benedict was also a respected director, earning acclaim for off-Broadway productions like Frankie and Johnny in The Clair de Lune and The Kathy and Mo Show, the latter earning an Obie Award. Even into his later years, he remained active on stage, performing alongside Pacino in Huey, and appearing in Harold Pinter's No Man's Land in 2007. On December 1, 2008, Paul Benedict passed away suddenly at his home on Martha's Vineyard at the age of 70 from brain hemorrhage. Benedict was laid to rest at St. Mary's Cemetery, Norfolk County, Massachusetts, USA. He may have left quietly, but his legacy endures. A master of subtle comedy, a presence that lit up every scene, and a reminder that great acting doesn't always shout. Sometimes it simply speaks with truth, timing, and grace. Uncle Fester, the bald, wild-eyed Addams with a heart full of mischief, was brilliantly brought to life by Christopher Lloyd. Born on October 22, 1938, in Stamford, Connecticut, he was 53 years old when he first stepped into the role in The Addams Family, 1991, returning again for its sequel in 1993. His portrayal added an unexpected sweetness beneath the madness, turning a mysterious oddball into a deeply lovable figure.
Welcome back. Thanks.
Lloyd's path to stardom was far from conventional. Descended from Mayflower settlers, he left behind privilege for the unpredictability of the arts. After years of training at the neighborhood playhouse and honing his craft in small theaters, he found breakout success in the sitcom Taxi as the eccentric Reverend Jim, a role that earned him 2 Emmy Awards and solidified his love for playing the beautifully bizarre. From the time-traveling Doc Brown in Back to the Future to the terrifying Judge Doom in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Lloyd became one of cinema's most distinctive character actors. Yet, off-screen, he remained private. He has been married 5 times and lost his Montecito home in a wildfire, but he's never let personal loss overshadow his passion for performing. Even into his 80s, Lloyd has stayed active, lending his voice to Rick and Morty, appearing in The Mandalorian, and even returning to the stage in powerful roles like Death of a Salesman. As of 2025, at 86 years old, Christopher Lloyd continues to work, create, and inspire. His portrayal of Uncle Fester remains a highlight in a career full of iconic characters. Morticia Addams, the elegant and sharp-witted matriarch of the Addams clan, was immortalized by Angelica Houston in The Addams Family, 1991. At 40 years old, she stepped into the role with grace, mystery, and sly humor, turning Morticia into a cultural icon for a new generation.
couldn't stop staring at you all through the eulogy. Your eyes.
Born on July 8, 1951, Houston came from Hollywood royalty, the daughter of acclaimed director John Huston and granddaughter of actor Walter Houston. But her journey into the spotlight was marked by hardship, not privilege. At 18, she made her film debut under her father's direction, only to face harsh criticism from him. The painful experience drove her to modeling, leaving acting behind for a time. Her early life was shadowed by tragedy. When her mother died suddenly in a car accident, Houston was left adrift, navigating grief and complex relationships. A turbulent romance with photographer Bob Richardson added to the emotional strain. Eventually, she returned to acting, but often found herself typecast as con artists or tragic women, roles that seemed to echo her own struggles. Her breakthrough came in 1985 with Prizzi's Honor, once again directed by her father. Despite producers doubting her, Houston's performance earned her an Academy Award, proving she was more than a name. She was a force. Off-screen, her life was rarely quiet. A 20-year relationship with Jack Nicholson ended in heartbreak, and she later found peace in marriage to sculptor Robert Graham until his passing in 2008. She never had children, something she's spoken about with quiet sorrow. In 2019, Houston was diagnosed with cancer, and after 4 years of private treatment, she recovered. A personal battle she quietly won. Now, at 74, she continues to act, most recently appearing in John Wick, Chapter 4, and directs films that focus on women's stories. She's also a passionate advocate for animal rights, showing the same fierce compassion off-screen that she brought to Morticia. Angelica Houston didn't just play Morticia, she embodied a woman of elegance, resilience, and soul. Her life, like her most iconic role, is a mix of shadow and light, and always unforgettable. Tully Alford, the desperate and scheming lawyer who tries to swindle the Addams family, was played with nervous energy and biting wit by Dan Hidea. Born on July 24, 1940, in Brooklyn, New York, Hidea was 51 years old when he brought Tully to life in The Addams Family, 1991, making the character both crooked and strangely endearing. Hidea's sharp delivery and expressive face made him perfect for roles filled with tension, sarcasm, and simmering frustration.
One of a kind.
The doctors all said
Kind to animals, so good with children.
they never proved anything.
$1 million is the perfect amount.
It's brilliant.
It's untraceable.
He would later earn even greater recognition for playing Mel Horowitz, the blunt and overprotective father in Clueless, 1995, one of the most iconic movie dads of the 1990s. His road to acting, however, didn't begin in Hollywood. The son of Syrian Sephardic Jewish immigrants, Hidea grew up in Brooklyn's Bensonhurst neighborhood and earned a degree from Tufts University. For years, he lived a quiet life as a junior high school teacher before making the life-changing decision to pursue acting. He trained at HB Studio in New York, slowly building his name through theater, television, and film. Throughout the 1980s and 90s, Hidea became known for playing strong-willed, morally complex characters. Whether it was the dictator Arius in Commando, the suspicious husband in the Coen brothers' Blood Simple, or even Richard Nixon in the satire Dick, Hidea had a way of making villains strangely relatable. He later brought his trademark tension to Mulholland Drive, The Usual Suspects, and Monk, where he played Adrian Monk's long-lost father in a rare emotional role. Despite often playing gruff or harsh characters, Hidea's performances were layered with wit, honesty, and subtle vulnerability. On screen, he could be sarcastic and sharp, but never forgettable. Now, 85 years old, Dan Hidea has taken a step back from the spotlight, but his work continues to resonate. With his distinctive presence and grounded realism, he remains one of those rare actors who never needed to play the lead to leave a lasting mark. Lurch, the towering, silent butler with a soul behind his stillness, was portrayed with eerie grace by Carl Striken. Born on July 30th, 1948, in The Hague, Netherlands, he was 43 years old when he became part of the Addams Family legacy in 1991, and again in Addams Family Values, 1993. Standing at 7 feet tall, Striken brought more than just height to the role. With slow, deliberate movements and piercing expressions, he turned a nearly wordless character into one of the film's most haunting and beloved figures. His path to acting was just as surreal as his characters. After moving to Curaçao as a child, he began composing music by age 15. He studied filmmaking in Amsterdam and later at the American Film Institute. But his acting journey began unexpectedly, when a stranger spotted him on a Hollywood street corner and invited him to audition. That moment launched a career built on mystery, subtlety, and unforgettable presence. Striken is widely recognized for his role as the giant in Twin Peaks, the cryptic Mr. Holm in Star Trek, The Next Generation, and appearances in Gerald's Game and Dr. Sleep. Often cast in surreal or supernatural roles, his unique energy brought a dreamlike depth to every project. Diagnosed at 20 with acromegaly, a rare condition that causes abnormal growth, Striken turned what could have been an obstacle into an artistic signature. Rather than hide it, he made it his strength. Outside of acting, he's a dedicated panoramic photographer, drawn to silence, nature, and stillness. A reflection of the same calm he brings to screen. He lives a quiet life in the Los Angeles area with his wife and children. In January 2025, he suffered a devastating loss when the Eaton wildfire destroyed his family's home. But through tragedy, he remained grounded, a man shaped by resilience, simplicity, and grace. Now 77 years old, Carl Striken continues to live quietly, creating art and occasionally appearing on screen. A true cinematic original, he reminds us that the most powerful performances don't always need words, only presence. Judith Addams, the lanky, eccentric dancer who stole a moment of the spotlight during the Addams family's chaotic ballroom scene, was played by the unforgettable Tony Zito. Born Antonio Zito on July 18, 1948, he was 43 years old when he brought his signature surreal style to the Addams Family, 1991. Though his role was brief, his bizarre movements and expressive energy made it impossible to look away. Zito stood out, literally. At 6'3" with an unusually elongated frame and elastic physicality, he had a presence that felt like a cartoon brought to life. Originally trained at the Juilliard School under John Houseman, he clashed with tradition and walked away from the program, choosing to follow his own artistic path. He soon immersed himself in modern dance, joining Anna Sokolow's company, and eventually found a home on stage. His breakout came with The Pirates of Penzance, where he played the police sergeant with such quirky charm that it earned him a Tony nomination and a role in the 1983 film adaptation. Critics described him as a disjointed puppet, but audiences adored him for that exact reason. He was one of a kind. Behind the curtain, though, life was painful. While touring with The Mystery of Edwin Drood, Zito was hit by a taxi, breaking both legs, a crushing injury for a dancer. But with grit and stubborn hope, he fought back, eventually returning to the stage in productions like Travesties and She Loves Me. Sadly, on May 26, 1995, Tony Zito died from complications related to HIV/AIDS. He was only 46 years old. His appearance in the Addams Family lasted only moments, but like everything he did, it was unforgettable. Tony Zito didn't need lines to leave a mark. He just needed to be fully, fearlessly himself. Thanks for spending time with us as we looked back on the unforgettable cast of The Addams Family. If you enjoyed the journey, make sure to like, subscribe, and share to keep the Addams magic alive. Which character left the biggest impression on you? Tell us in the comments. We're always excited to hear your favorite moments. Until next time, stay spooky, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.